Alrighty, so we're just gonna kind of do like a long form, but edited slightly, like just to try and shave it down a little bit. I'm speeding it up as well. Hopefully this isn't going to be like an awful experience for you guys, but I don't have anything like decent to put out this week from my perspective, and so I'm just gonna do something kind of generic and easier from an editing perspective. I've still got one really big project I'm really happy with, but I want to keep my quota moving, so I'm going to kind of take a comp out and, kind of talk about one of my forts. This one was a decent one. Hopefully I'll be able to edit it the right way so that you guys actually will be able to see things in a good way that doesn't ruin everything. For example, I'm about to skip ahead like right now. And I'm doing that because you just don't want to see me looking around the map and staring at a bunch of things and deciding, hey, we're going to demolish this and keep this and set up a thing here. And I'm just basically, organizing a small little base camp to make sure, I am not going to be in too much trouble. And it works reasonably well. I'm just going with a simple little box design, nothing complicated. Enough to get my people inside quickly and sheltered, but also not consuming too many resources. Being made out of wood and all, it's reasonably fast to build. There is the nice thing about this. Unfortunately, if you recognize it from the shorts, you maybe have seen this in the shorts, because yes, this is still one of the forts where I'm using the terraforming mod, which adds way too much resource consumption. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can almost pull it off on this. Almost. But, man, it's like, you just need to be spending more resources on things like, I don't know, defending your place than like growing stuff on the hardest difficulty. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only person who on the hardest difficulty actually has like constant waves of enemy attacks. Then again, I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure it's just like some people don't play it on the hardest difficulty, which is fine. I'm not necessarily going to stay on the hardest difficulty because, man, the AI does really kind of crush it, and it's kind of hard from a storytelling perspective. So I'm trying to find that nice balance where, yes, bad things happen enough to keep the game moving, but you don't get like constantly inundated with like negative events at all times. Anyway, yeah. This fort was a reasonably good fort. I don't have anything like too much to say about it. I played it. It was a decent fort. I feel like there was a good story here, but I don't remember it, and I've been so focused on like the editing of the other story, like this is just not like my paying attention kind of thing. See, I'm just watching this and I'm like, man, I used so much time and energy managing the farming, which is really fun. Really fun. Like, it's a nice addition to RimWorld, and it's a great example of how powerful the engine is. Because, I mean, you can literally turn RimWorld into a farming simulation, like a village farming simulation, like Medieval Life. I've played it before, I enjoy it, but man, you play it on the hardest difficulty, and those stupid Deathwing things kill you every time. I don't remember what they're called. They're those stupid little bugs that fly around, drive you freaking crazy. I don't like them at all. No, sir. Nuh-uh. It's a good mod, though. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a great engine. It's great. It's capable. It's versatile. It can do all sorts of neat things, yada, yada, yada. Holy crap, I already have furniture? Man, I'm booking in this game in that regard. I had to have someone, like, really good at research to get that done so quick. We are watching it just a little fast here. I'm going to mention that as well. Yeah, I'm saying too much. I do that. I should do, like, a clip where I just go, Ooh, that'd be kind of fun, but that'd be a lot of editing. Ugh. See, now that's what they need. They need a tool that can just do weird crap like that for you. I want a remix of my ums. Bum, bum, bum. Anyway, yeah. I tried keeping the animals, like, I know animals are necessary for, like, map exploration, and I really do like the idea of moving to the, like, large-scale map. But see, now I'm setting up prisons, because, like, man, like, one of my top priorities in my mind is being able to imprison people in this game. Because, man, if you can't imprison people, you're kind of not going to gain a population at all. I'm thinking about traps. I'm doing a lot of the stuff I'm supposed to be doing. So, I mean, in that regard, I'm definitely playing smarter and better. But it just doesn't matter when it comes to, like, the mods I'm playing with. Like, man, the farming mod is just so intensive. Like, it is ridiculously, like, heavy loading. I don't know if you saw that there, like, on the sandbags. The sandbags require actual sand to use. Yeah. The game tracks, like, pretty much all of it, man. You can strip everything out of the ground and get lots of resources, which is really fun, like strip mining. Yes, you can come along like that. You can tear out all these soils. You can make bricks. You can make all sorts of things and actually, like, do real world stuff that honestly, like, the base game doesn't have and drives me a little crazy. It's just so incredibly resource intensive. Like, I mean, like, we're not even talking like a little resource intensive. Like, it just consumes a crap ton of resources. Oh no, they're fighting those idiots. It really does, like, consume way too many resources, like, for the higher difficulty stuff. I'm sure there is a point where it balances out. It's just not here. And as a result, I just had an interesting thought. Does having a venerated animal as a group that sacrifices animals basically mean you get a bigger bonus if you kill that animal? The human supremacist build? Do human supremacists get more from killing a venerated animal? I don't know, and I kind of want to find out. That is an interesting question. I think I just got an idea for another short. I didn't need another one, but I can add another one to the list. That doesn't hurt. What are they doing? Oh, defending. I'm under attack from something. A rat. Dear Lord. Whatever will we do? Yeah, nothing. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. See, like, it's just like you spend way too much time and energy, like, digging up the soil. And don't get me wrong, like, the terraforming has its value, like this right here. Adding it, allowing me to strip the soil and, like, all that stuff, like, basically allows me to turn it into extremely defensible territory without consuming resources. It literally just consumes time, nothing else. If I could get rid of the stupid vegetable stuff composting part and just have the ripping the soil out, I might actually keep it for, like, hardcore games. It's still really resource intensive. Like, it's only going to ever be useful, like, if you're, like, really trying to crunch your resources and you're really trying to min-max your base design. That's about the only time it's going to be useful. I still haven't even built, like, a proper, like, heavy-duty basin, like, at all. Oh well, we'll get to it. I have actually built a really solid base design. It's really boring and ugly, though. That is a bit of a problem. But unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do about it. Like, a good base design just isn't necessarily aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I don't know what else to say. Like, you know, people, you know, if you want to make a pretty base that actually looks like a base, I've watched one channel now. I'm not going to say any names because I'm going to be a little bit critical. He's a pretty big rim worlder, and, like, I'm a little suspicious. Like, some of the stuff is, like, you know, a little staged because, you know, he builds his bases way more, like, visually pleasing. It's just, I have a hard time seeing him do what he does with the number of pawns that he's doing it with on the difficulty that he's playing on. I think that's a safe statement, and we're going to just use he there as gender neutral. Because, anyway, yeah. I'm just doing great here. I'm digging my foot into my mouth really deep here. Yeah. So, about that weather, right? Yeah. But anyway, like, I don't get it. Like, man, they cannot be playing, like, on the really high difficulty settings, like, and having, like, you know, this base is purely, like, stretched out over this huge amount of space and giving people big rooms, and they're all spread out and stuff. Like, it just doesn't work. If you're getting constantly hammered, you need like a place to heal people near the medicine. You need the medicine readily available. Like, you know, everything what I'm saying all needs to be organized very carefully and very meticulously. And sometimes they show that they're doing that, like on certain times. But then other times, man, they just completely go off the rails and do some really ridiculous stuff. And you're just like, that doesn't work at all. Like, not even a little. Oh, do we have head spikes? I don't know. Am I a slaving faction with this fort? See, this is the problem. In order to make a good... Yeah, they have head spikes. In order to make a good, like, story about this fort, I really kind of have to just rewatch it. I don't remember this fort at all. I played this a long time ago. And they're like, man, I've been working on other stuff, and now I'm looking at this video, and I'm like, man, I think there was a really good story here. Maybe we'll try to piece one together. You might see this place show up again. Like, I'd have to do a crap ton of editing to get it down to 20 minutes. I'm playing at a very high speed, and yes, I'm not editing this video at all. Well, partially. Any of the in-between. But, you know, if you're actually, like, watching it and you're looking at it, you're probably going, hey, you know, a lot's happening. I think a lot's happening. It's a pretty busy couple days. Yeah. Sigh. I need to stop saying, yeah. There's the problem with unscripted stuff. I really should have talking points up somewhere so I can see them and be like, oh, hey, I should talk about XYZ. XYZ is important for you and me. That's why you need to take it. It's a dietary supplement that you shouldn't take because supplements might actually be bad for you. Oh no, things might be bad for you. This is such a confusing world. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah. Like, man, I just spend so much. See, every time I'm watching it, I'm just looking at the stupid vegetable matters and the soil stuff. It's like, man, that's really a nice touch, but adds so much workload. Like, if you've got the research done and yada yada yada, yes, it actually unlocks some really advanced agriculture options, and it can actually give you really efficient farmland. Don't get me wrong. Like, I get it. Like, it really does add some really powerful things. Maybe that's a good way to say it. I hadn't thought of that. Maybe a good way to say it is the farmland mod, the terraforming farming mod is optimized for playing as a base faction, like the Crashland start. Because, yeah, that actually makes more sense. If you start as a Crashland and you have all the technology kind of researched, it can give you some really powerful farming options. That's a nice fill-in between, like, you know, hydroponics and not hydroponics. But, I mean, without it, oof, man, it just doesn't work. Like, it really doesn't. But, I mean, you can really max out the farming efficiency, like grow huge fields in very small amounts of space and feed a lot of people with way less land, which I like. But, yeah. At this point, I'm trying to set up, like, some basic religious stuff to try and get my morale more stable. Yeah. It kind of works. Like, this fort does not suffer, like, any of the major, like, oopses. Like, it's a reasonably solid fort. Like, it works reasonably well. It, you know, so on and so forth. I don't actually remember what happened to it, though. It did die. I'm sorry. I eventually failed, and something went wrong, and this place blew up, and there's not a lot I can do about it, guys. I'm trying to remember. One of my biggest mistakes, if you've seen the short for it, I don't know if it's out yet, is that stupid mosaic thing I did. Yeah. Doing a mosaic tile for the temple bedroom space was like a cool idea at a glance, but I mean, like, functionally, whoa, way too resource consuming. I think it requires like 1,000 bricks, like some crazy high number like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. Oh, what? See, there's something I'm doing that's bugging me. Do not put your targets next to your walls. You just shoot your walls. Then you have holes in your walls that you have to repair, and it just adds work. Don't do it. Don't really know what you should put behind your archery targets, but I'd probably like put them in a field, honestly. That way they just shoot over nothing and hit nothing, and it doesn't waste too much space. You lose a little bit of farming land, and that's it. See, tons of work, very little crop yield. At the low levels, yeah, I'd have to say it's an optimization for Neanderthal caveman start. I can research it, I can upgrade it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to like overly criticize it. It's just, yeah, it doesn't work well on high difficulty and caveman start. Both. Okay? I get it. Like, it makes sense. Anyway, I see I'm building training targets. I'm doing everything the right way overall. And pacing-wise, I'm doing fine at this point. Like, nothing's happening. I feel like a raid should... Oh, I already did have one guy and he died. That's right. One teeny little raider showed up and he got shot and died. That was very brief. Oh, that's what happens when you watch this and go through it in like super high speed. You just like tiny little lives flickering like mayflies. They're like digital mayflies. How sad. Those poor things. They barely exist before they're dead. Oh. And well.